10 years ago from today, Nintendo and Sakurai released the notorious Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Wii U, as well as Nintendo 3DS, otherwise known as Smash 4. So the big question is, what's up? Why is this one of the most notorious Smash games that have ever been released? And we just gotta get it out with the elephant in the room, and that is by going back and looking at the 3DS as well as the Wii U during this time. Because guys and gals, this was a conundrum that I feel like Nintendo just did not know was gonna happen. To start off, we just gotta look at the 3DS first though. I really respect the idea of a 3DS Smash game. At the time, this sounded perfect. If I go to the park, Super Smash Bros. If it's after school with the homies, Super Smash Bros. If it's late at night where I'm supposed to be sleeping and I'm a kid and I'm hiding in the corner playing Super Smash Bros, I'm kind of lit. Don't tell me y'all didn't play video games after. Come on. This was their attempt of that Super Smash Bros. Mobility before the Switch ever came out. But this is one of the true examples of them having an idea and then the process of making the product is like totally different. I think they just forgot how weak Nintendo games really are, especially if we're talking about the 3DS. The 3DS is like a little bigger than the size of my hand. This thing is fucking tiny. As well as this being 2014, the technology was not there for this to work out in any sense of the word. That little box that we call the 3DS is probably as powerful as a iPhone 1, and I just don't think they realize how much power a Super Smash Bros. Game really required. And I hate to be in this position because I'm a really big Nintendo handheld guy, and sure, did we actually care at all in any sense of the word, like in any sense about that 3D part of the 3DS? No, I didn't. You didn't. We all didn't care past the first like month where we tried it and we started getting a headache. But when you turn that 3D bar down, you just got a really polished version of the previously known DS. You even had like the backwards compatibility with the 3DS. You had all the different modes that came with the device. The only issue is that this is a handheld device by Nintendo in 2014. So how much power was this thing gonna have? And that little box was just fighting for its life trying to play Smash 4, man. There's even all these clips online where people are like trying to shut off their 3DS, but they can't because Smash 4 can't shut off yet because it's just too powerful. It's too much power. They try to compensate by like really numbing down the graphics, which I didn't mind. Again, you kind of come into it thinking it's not going to look like a Wii version of the Smash game, but just a lot of the appeal that you wanted from a Smash game just doesn't come from a 3DS console as well. The controls don't work in any sense of the word if you're trying to play anything more than a simple and basic game. The online isn't polished enough to play online matches with other people effectively. I can barely play a Pokemon battle where I'm just doing side A, up A, down A, side B, you know, it's different. And overall, again, this is a super small device. I have never met anyone in my life that preferred to play through a 3DS. I know you could hook it up to the Wii U. It didn't matter. I didn't even think, did that even work? Did people try to do the 3DS to the Wii U? I didn't even try it. And I feel so bad because I feel like I'm punching my little brother right now with these insults, but the 3DS and Smash were just two good things separately, but together, I just don't think they mesh. So when it came to the releases of these games, it started with the demo on the 3DS, and then they had the 3DS version, and then they had the Wii U version. And the Wii U is a whole nother conversation because that's a whole nother predicament. Surprisingly, the 3DS version sold a lot more than the Wii U version, but I feel like after being underwhelmed so much by the 3DS, plus the 3DS being the more popular console than the Wii U, it just didn't help steamroll into that Wii U release. And before I start dogging, this is not going to be a Wii U is trash video, because I think the Wii U is better than most people say. It's not good, but it's better than most people say. The console holds so many good games in my opinion. Like Nintendo Land, in my opinion, is one of the best Nintendo exclusive games, right next to Wii Sports and Wii Sport Resort. Mario Kart 8 was a great addition to Mario Kart, and it was so good that they don't even want to create Mario Kart 9, and they keep milking this game till this freaking day. It's been like 10 years, guys. Let's get over it. We also got the additions to big franchises like Zelda The Wind Waker, as well as Mario Party 10. And this Mario Party, in my opinion, is one of the best in recent years. I don't care what you say. And even though in retrospect, the Wii U just looks like this Dollar Tree version of what they wanted the Switch to be in the future, that doesn't mean it didn't have its own value. I personally thought it was great that I can play Mario Kart on my little Wii U gamepad, and other people in the room can turn on the television, watch reality TV shows, or play on their PlayStation 4 or whatever. But again, if people had a 3DS, people would just use their 3DS at the time or any other handheld device that might have been a little more convenient. So I understand why a lot of people did even look in this console's way. It almost feels like the Wii U is the Wii and Switch's illegitimate bastard son, which is like a combination of both, but doesn't really do any of them right. It's kind of nasty. So obviously with the Wii U selling only a fifth of what the Wii sold in its first year, Nintendo stopping the production of the Wii U only 5 years into its making, as well as dropping the price of the Wii U by $50 only a year into it being released, you can kind of tell at the time that this console really had no motion and was not really going anywhere. It was kind of going to be a dead period for Nintendo. And it really turned out that way because the Wii U really only sold 13.56 million copies in comparison to the Wii, which sold almost over 100 million copies in comparison. And honestly, I was the only person I knew that had a Wii U, and this is why I'm kind of standing right now. I felt bad. It wasn't even that bad of the console. Everyone just kept playing their Wii until the Switch came out and they transitioned to the Switch. Only diehard Nintendo fans really got this over a PS4 or Xbox One, or you were just rich and you had all of them at once. You can have the greatest game of all time, but if it's on the most subpar 6 out of 10 console that you've ever seen, what do you expect that game to do? And I'm not saying that Super Smash Bros. 4 is the greatest game of all time. Trust me. But the console was holding it back. And it has its pros. You can still use the Wii controllers on it, which was a really good plus, especially when you have things like 8-player Smash when it comes to Smash 4. And unlike the 3DS, if you wanted to play a little bit more seriously, you can just use the GameCube adapter for the Wii U version. But that's really all that the Wii U console has going for it. But going to characters, I think this is like a hit or miss when it comes to Smash 4. I think they really excel in introducing all these different franchises and brands, while also fall by repetition and kind of mediocre releases. So we already established that the 3DS got no gains, no sauce, can't hold this game up to any degree. And one of those things were transformations, which I thought was a really cool thing that came out of Brawl that they just obviously could not do in Smash 3DS because that thing would probably explode. So characters like Zelda / Sheik, Pokemon Trainer, even characters like Ice Climbers who were like 2 characters at the same time couldn't operate just because it would destroy the system. It wouldn't be able to handle it. It would lag like crazy. But if you look past the transformation characters, the characters that they actually introduced to this game were not actually too bad. We got Greninja, Shulk, Mega Man, Duck Hunt, Pac-Man Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, Rosalina, Dark Pit, Palutena, Bowser Jr., and we don't talk about those Mii fighters. We even got Little Mac, and even though he's like the worst character in the game, he's still so fun to play, so who cares? This is also the game where we get the severe Fire Emblem burnout, and rightfully so. I don't know what they were thinking with this one. I get it, it's popular in Japan. You're doing too much though. We got the addition of Lucina and Robin right out of launch, as well as keeping Marth and Ike. And then we get the DLC characters like, nah, y'all want more, don't you? You see this? Y'all haven't seen him in a while. Roy. Y'all miss Roy, right? He plays completely different. And they gave us Corrin too, which wasn't bad, but now we have like 4 characters that kind of play the same in the game, that are from the same game. I was like, come on. I'm tired. Stop it. But speaking about DLC, this is the first Smash game that actually introduced DLC, and I think they did a pretty decent job at it. They had some hits, they had some misses. It's definitely not like a Smash Ultimate DLC run. And obviously Ultimate already had all the characters from the past games, so they didn't get to fumble that hard. But a big complaint that I saw online was that they had to rebuy characters that were already in past games. So people weren't really messing with the Lucas and Roy DLC because there's already similar characters in the game, and these aren't weren't even like new characters, but Mewtwo dropped and everyone was like swinging it out. Like it was like, oh, this is fire, oh, it's time, it's Mewtwo. Ah. But this game gave us Cloud Strife, which might be one of the like top 3 biggest DLC Smash characters ever released. Argue with your mama. Bayonetta as well, which was cold. It was kind of a out of left field pick, and you know homies were simping with that trailer. I'm telling you, bro, I've never seen a community so down bad. Actually, that community has been in worse spots. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna say nothing else though. I'm walking away. Overall, when it comes to the characters of Smash 4, it has its peaks, it definitely has its valleys, and it definitely has its like, what's below a valley? Like a hole. So we're gonna take a quick peek at the game modes. I wrote this down, breaking down like every single one, but honestly, a lot of these are so unforgettable that you only really played the first like a week or two, and then you just went back to just the regular versus mode. But for the 3DS version, you had Smash Run, which was kind of interesting. This is just like one of those modes where I feel like you just are utilizing these low attention span kids, just throwing random shit at them. You pretty much gave these characters 6 customizable powers, as well as just throwing them into this really long map where they can get all these buffs and abilities by defeating all these enemies, and at the end you just fight the other CPUs or the other friends with all these buffs that you got from the match. And the concept I think is really fun. It's pretty cool. It's just so much going on, so many colors, and it's like it felt like I was watching one of those TikToks where it's like a podcast clip, but they have the little car that's doing this stupid game run on the bottom where it's just I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I wrote down all these different modes for the 3DS version, but I honestly don't care about any of them. And because of Smash 4 Wii U, one of the best things that I felt like Sakurai has ever done was 8-player Smash. This used to be the shit when I was in high school, and I don't care what y'all say. You had the stage builder option that you can make these beefy and huge maps, so you can really do anything that you want. You can do all these different items, or you can do all these different formats. You had so much creativity with the map to make something really, really cool, and then just tossing in 8 different people of your friends just going crazy, and oh, it was peak. But for the most part, they have like a lot of similar stuff, just different events and challenges that just make the normal 1v1 or normal 1v3 versus a little bit more interesting. And I didn't even know, but they had this masterpieces function where you could play a lot of the older games of the characters in Smash. So they had older Mario games, older Star Fox games, older Zelda games. They just had different options. I didn't touch this. I didn't even know this was on the device. It's like really in the corner of one of the modes, but it was there. It was an option. And a big complaint at the time that people don't really care about anymore was that there was no story mode, because coming off of Brawl, that was the big appeal, like, oh, the game's trash, but it has a story mode, so it's fine. Following up on it again, if that was like a big thing that the people really liked out of Smash, seeing it not there was disappointing at the time, but with them not doing that for Ultimate as well, I think people care less over the years. All the other modes you don't really care about, but it was like the story mode that you kind of replay sometimes because it was that interesting, it was that refreshing. And last thing, just going over the play style, which isn't that bad as well. I think this was a really great transition from Brawl, because Brawl had that really heavy, dense gravity play style, which didn't really feel that good. When I go back to Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate, it's probably the most easy transition out of all the games. It felt lighter, it felt more free. Obviously didn't have all the mechanics that a Smash Ultimate had, but it was a good stepping stone towards it. But it felt good, it felt alright. So based off everything that we talked about, I think the one thing that we can pinpoint to the Smash's failure is really just the console. There's not much you can do with the Wii U and the 3DS in this case. It was just a bad timing for this franchise. I don't think you can do much with the 3DS with its limitations with the power, and I don't think you can do much with the Wii U just being that unpopular of a device. Could they have been a little bit more strategic on who they chose for DLC characters, as well as be a little bit more strategic on how much Fire Emblem representation or how much diversity they even have when it comes to Fire Emblem in general? Sure. But overall, you have these very cool and legacy characters. Like, people love Villager still. People still love Cloud. People still love Bayonetta. But sure, were the modes a little forgettable? Okay, but which Smash game modes are not forgettable other than Brawl and the story? Who still plays Smash Ultimate side modes? Like, I don't. You don't either. I know you're lying. So overall, I don't think this game had any chance to be one of the biggest games in all the Smash franchises. And I feel like if it was put on a different console, sure, it wouldn't have been the biggest Smash games. It would have not been a Smash Ultimate. It would have not been a Melee. But I think it would have been a little better than what it is right now. It's not like Brawl where it's on this heavy hitter console and people are kind of just playing it just because it's on the Wii, and it's not really because this game's really good. But either way, I really had a great time with Smash 4. I probably have just as many hours on Smash 4 as I do with Brawl as well as Ultimate. But if you guys are also into anime, you guys want to hear about anime from 10 years ago, you can look at this video right over here talking about the 2014 anime. And guys and gals, thank you again for the video. I'll catch you guys next time, and guys and gals, this is my Bling Thoughts.